We were ever so close to a quarterfinal clash between Coco Gauff and Naomi Osaka at the Miami Open, but unfortunately, both women lost in the fourth rounds. I'll talk about what exactly went wrong for both Osaka and Gauff. But we do have one exciting upcoming women's quarterfinal between Alexandra Eala and Iga Swiatek. I'll be previewing that and discuss whether Eala actually has a chance at pulling off the huge upset. Then I'm going to be talking about two thrilling men's matches that we had yesterday between Arthur Fils and Francis Tiafoe, and then Joao Fonseca against Alex de Minaur. Hey, I'm Christian Bassnight and welcome to Christian's Court, where I cover tennis from all angles. If you have not yet already, make sure you subscribe and click the notification bell so you are notified whenever I post more of my Miami Open content. So first, starting out with Naomi Osaka, she was going to be looking for her first WTA 1000 quarterfinals since, I believe, Miami Open 2022, but she fell just short against number 6 seed Jasmine Paolini, losing 3-6, 6-4, 6-4. This honestly was not a bad loss at all for Osaka, of course. Of course, Paolini is top 10, and she could have lost to much lower-ranked players like Camila Osorio, but really, to be honest, I think Osaka should have won this match. If there was one main thing that I have to pinpoint and why she lost this match, it was her return of serve. Her serve right now is pretty much on fire. It's not really a problem at all for her. Osaka is not returning nowhere near as strong as she was at her peak from 2018 to early 2021. And I know she had a bad problem last year, particularly with getting returns actually in play. And I believe her newest coach, Patrick Moranoglu, just told her to focus on making returns in play rather than missing a lot of these returns, going for too much and giving opponents free and easy points. But I believe this mentality hurt her in the crunch time against Paolini, who really made Naomi pay quite a few times for her shorter return replies. And this happened at very critical points in both the second and third sets of this match. It could have really been a straight sets win for Osaka if she was just a bit sharper on her return games. It's not like Jasmine has a big booming serve, and Naomi definitely should have broke more than she did. She only broke 3 times, but she did have a lot of opportunities though. She had 15 breakpoint chances, so she's got to do better at cashing in on those chances. That's going to hurt her for sure. I also think it's something with Naomi mentally that might have prevented her from getting over the finish line in this match against Paolini. And I mentioned before about her possibly dealing with scar tissue due to just the constant up and downs in this comeback. And even aside from the comeback, Naomi hasn't had that big success that we witnessed in her early 20s for years. She has only scored one top 10 win, in fact, since 2020, I believe. And that was against Ostapenko at the US Open last year, which is kind of insane. And if she were to beat Paolini, this would have been her second top 10 win since that long stretch. And it would have been huge for Naomi. It would have been her first quarterfinal at this level in a long time. And now we know her draw would have opened up beautifully for her to at least make the semifinals. I say all that to say Naomi was just not able to elevate her level high enough during crunch time. She was just a tad too error prone, and she was able to come out on top of that Baptiste thriller in round 3. I attributed that to, of course, Naomi being the better player at the end, but also Haley just is not that experienced at getting such big wins. But Paolini, despite her not playing her best tennis this season, she still is top 10, and she had the confidence to get her through, and she was the steadier one in the end. You got to credit Jasmine because she played a great match, and definitely this was her best match that she had played in this entire season thus far. And Paolini was clutch too, especially at 2-3 in the third set where she staved off a couple of break points, and she had this incredible stat volley winner to keep her alive in the game. Overall though, a very positive week for Naomi. She got some good wins, especially that win over Ludmila Samsonova. I will be interested to see how she comes for the clay this time, considering how she has Patrick in her corner now. And I think we might be in store for a good clay season with her, as also there's not going to be as much pressure on her, as she knows that she's going to kind of be a little bit more of an underdog, seeing as though she hasn't had much clay court success. But that match against Iga at Roland Garros last year shows that she can definitely still do damage on the red dirt. So I'm very much looking forward to see what she has in store. Coco Gauff's loss, however, it was not a positive loss, to put it kindly. She fell 6-4, 6-4 to world number 34, Magda Linette. And this was a very surprising result to me because Coco started this tournament very strong with the love win over Sofia Kenin. She did not look as solid at all against Maria Sakkari in the third round, but she still looked fine, and she got through pretty comfortably 6-2, 6-4. And I also thought that she'd just be primed for a deep run, considering how also she was wearing a bun. If you know Coco, she always plays well whenever she wears a bun. And she also had her boyfriend in the box. And I felt that having, her man and also her family there would help her. And it would be a recipe for success considering how she seemed to have a calmer demeanor about her in her opening 2 matches. But I did notice against Sakari, her serve wasn't great at all, honestly. She was just trying to get it in and wasn't really going up and after that first serve. And she was able to get away with it against Maria because the Greek woman just doesn't have that moxie at all about her. But I still thought that she'd still be fine against Linette. Coco was 2-love against her, and she had dominated their last meeting, which was in Wuhan last year by a score of love and 4. But I honestly did underestimate how well the Pole had been playing in this tournament leading up to this match, as she did earn some pretty solid wins, beating quality opponents like Anastasia Pavlyuchenkova and Ekaterina Alexandrova. And ultimately, she was just the better player here against Coco. But back to Gauff, that serve is still a big problem. She has no confidence in it at all, and she kept hitting 2 second serves as the first and second serves. Like, her first serve was basically her second serve because they were similar in service speeds. And a lot of times she was hitting her second serves faster than her first serve, which is a problem. She was not getting many free or easy points from her first serve at all. And that impacts other aspects of her game. And Coco was just very off from the ground. She finished with 25 unforced errors. First of all, talking about set 1, she finished with 25 unforced errors, and 19 of those unforced errors came from the forehand wing. Coco did come out sharper in the second set, and she had more controlled aggression. A lot more of those shots were landing in the early games of the second set. And she broke Linette to go up 2-love, and I thought that here she'd at least send this to a deciding set. But after breaking Linette, she immediately lost serve. And here I really think that Coco felt the downsides of not having a reliable, strong first serve, because that first serve will be able to get her out of trouble, or at least even if she wasn't getting like aces or, the free points, she would be set up for an easier ball after the strong first serve. But she wasn't getting that at all. She was made to work harder in a lot of these baseline rallies, and Linette is just a solid baseline player, so it was hard for her. Coco lost serve a few more times, but she was also able to break back a couple more times in this match. But ultimately, it's just the issue boiled down to her not being able to hold her own and with that serve of hers. Yes, the return could have been better too, as Gauff, she formerly at least had the reputation of being amongst the best returner on tour. We haven't been seeing that lately the past few months, but Coco has just got to hold at these crucial junctures of the match. She's got to handle her business at the end of the day. She barely made 50% of first serves in for the match, and she committed 45 unforced errors to just 18 winners, which is just not good at all. And to me, this is probably Coco's worst loss of the season. She did play a pretty bad, tragic match against Marta Kostyuk in Doha. I think form-wise, that was a little bit worse than this one, but I say that this was her worst match because I honestly feel like Coco had no business losing this match. Yes, again, Linette played great. She's not that low ranked. She's ranked 34 in the world, and she can beat a lot of top players, and you need to be playing somewhat solid against Linette because Magda does not give you many free, easy points. But thinking back to where Coco started the year, winning the United Cup, playing so well, these past few months have been disappointing. And I thought this was going to be a great opportunity for her to finally make the quarterfinals of her home tournament with her playing an unseeded player. But perhaps maybe the home pressure and having the family and her lover attending, it didn't work in her favor. And it is disappointing. I thought that she would at least make the semifinals here because she seemed to be trending in the right direction. That loss against Belinda Bencic was a good loss in my opinion. And again, she started the tournament so well against Kenin, but then we have a match like we had today. And Coco, she said after the match, it wasn't great today. It hasn't been great for the past 2 weeks. So I'm just trying to figure that out. Serve, return, forehand, backhand, everything, honestly, just one of those days I felt off on everything. It's just a series of not having great results and feeling confident on the court. And yeah, Coco's right, but I still feel like she should have found a way to win this match. So much of her game is derived from confidence right now, and she is not as able to scrape through and win ugly how she had been last year. And maybe some of that is due to not having Brad Gilbert in her box. And I don't think that she wants to rely on winning ugly right now. We've seen her try to go down swinging more and more in these losses instead of trying to mix things up, varying the heights and spins of shots. And maybe how she's losing now will be best for her long term. But I still think there should be a healthy combination of mixing in some jankier shots and winning ugly, as well as trying to stick to what she should do even when the going gets tough. To me, this loss kind of brought a hard truth in that Coco just might have a career where she's just up and down and she can't sustain that high level that we saw at the United Cup or the end of 2024, or she just might not be that dominant player that we thought she could be, like an Iga or even Aryna Sabalenka. And she reportedly admitted that in a community event, and she reportedly said that recently at a community event in Delray Beach last week. But trying to find the bright side, now we're transitioning to the clay, where Coco has had some good success, especially at Roland Garros and Rome. So we'll see. Hopefully things will turn around for her on the dirt. Now, although we did not get that Gauff-Osaka quarterfinal, we do have a very exciting Elite Eight matchup between Iga Swiatek and Alexandra Eala. Iga has yet to drop a set this tournament, beating some quality opponents in Garcia, Mertens, and recently Alina Svitolina, who she dispatched of 7-6, 6-3. The 19-year-old wildcard Eala also has not dropped a set, as the Filipino knocked out Linette, Ostapenko, and Madison Keys before getting a fourth-round walkover from Paolo Badosa, who struggled with a back problem. These two have some interesting lore as well, as Iga and Alex both practiced together in Miami way back in 2021 when Eala made her WTA debut, as she fell in qualifying in the opening round. Both these two also won the US Open back in 2022. Iga won the grown-up US Open, the women's singles, while Alex won the girls singles. And then Iga actually attended Alex's graduation from the Rafa Nadal Academy in June 2023, and now here we are 20 months later, they're playing in the quarterfinals of Miami. So what a beautiful full circle moment for both women, but especially Alex. Now, the question is, does Alex actually have a chance? Talking about Iga, she hasn't been 100% on it in form, but she has still been pretty solid. And I was actually very impressed by how she came out against Alina Svitolina, managing to win that match in 2 tight sets, because Svitolina was playing very well. And Iga was just able to find a way, able to raise her level despite Svitolina just never giving up. Swiatek proved that she was just the better of the two that night. And I've noticed a different vibe to Iga this tournament. Normally, she kind of dominates in the opening few rounds and opponents and then kind of tails off and peaks early. But I think for this tournament, she's kind of been trending in the right direction, gradually getting better match by match. And I don't think she's going to be peaking too soon. And I think she's going to be peaking right in the later rounds, which is a good sign for her. Now, Eala, talking about her, she low-key reminds me a lot of Leylah Fernandez. Fernandez is apparently half Filipina, but their game styles are kind of similar. Of course, they're both lefty, but they're also, to me, both strong counterpunchers. They both love pace and the redirect pace and handle the pace of shots so well. And both move well. And Eala, they take the ball early. Their serves aren't as strong too. And I really don't know if Alex in her game will be a good matchup for Iga, to be honest. Iga has routine Leylah badly the 2 times they played, so I don't know. But there is a chance that maybe Iga will feel the nerves, and knowing that she's going to be a big favorite in this one, I don't know. I think this match would be huge in telling us whether Alex has the potential to be great. We know she's going to be good, but can she be a great player and consistently, be a top 20 player? Will she be able to rise to the occasion and play still good tennis, despite this being by far the biggest match of her life? And she's going to be playing for a lot, as she's going to crack the top 100 if she beats Iga. I think she'll land around 80 or even 70s if she pulls off this win. And she is going to have to play the best match of her life if she even wants a chance to beat Swiatek. And honestly, I don't know if that's enough. And I see a 6-3, 6-2 win for Swiatek. I don't know if Eala has what it takes right now to beat Iga. I think Iga's going to be a little bit too consistent. Unlike Keys and Ostapenko, I don't think Iga will give her too many wild, unforced errors. So yeah, I think Iga's going to take this one in straight sets. Our other women's quarterfinal matchup for Wednesday is also pretty intriguing, as it's between Emma Raducanu and Jessica Pegula. Pegula is the only American woman remaining in the draw, as Emma eliminated 3 of her compatriots in a row, and Emma Navarro, McCartney Kessler, and most recently Amanda Anisimova. Emma defeated Amanda 6-1, 6-3, and honestly, I would be pissed if I was Amanda, because that's very much unfair scheduling that she had to deal with. She had that really rough 3-hour-long third-round match against Andreeva at the night. I believe it was Sunday night, and she had to turn around and play around 3-4 o'clock Tuesday. That's insane. Again, I would be upset if I were her, and really she should have been the night match, her and Emma, but it is what it is now. Pegula, meanwhile, she has looked sharp in this tournament. She just scored a 6-2, 6-3 win over Marta Kostyuk. And talking about Jessie and Emma, the head-to-head is tied between these two, one apiece. And Emma won their last meeting actually in Eastbourne last year in 3 sets, and that was her first ever top 10 win. And I think Emma does have a good chance at beating Pegula. She is high on confidence, playing some of her best ever tennis. And I think she has the monkey off her back now that she finally reached a WTA quarterfinal. And it's the first time since the US Open 2021, which she won, that she has won 4 matches in a single tournament. I did have Pegula winning this tournament though, so for the sake of me, staying loyal, I'm going to have Jessie winning this match in 3 sets, but don't be surprised at all if Emma gets another American scalp. Now, briefly talking about the men, we have had some really high quality men's matches in Miami. The men have been outdoing the women, honestly, in terms of, match quality and excitement. And we had 2 really good matches on Monday. First, the battle of the brothers, Arthur Fils and Frances Tiafoe. It was crazy. Fils came out on top of this one. It was like 2 hours and 55 minutes. The score was 7-6, 5-7, 6-2. And Francis, he really should have won the first set. He had 6 set points, but was unable to convert. And then Fils, he really should have won the second set, honestly. He had 2 match points at 5-4 in the second set, but Francis, giving credit to him, he was clutch, saved them, and he won 3 games in a row to force a decider. And I thought that Francis would turn it around. Fils was upset, smashing his racket and all. And Francis got out to the quick early break in the deciding set, went up 2-1. But there it was where Arthur kind of regained his composure, and he stormed back actually to win the final 5 games of the match, which was insane. And Francis was pissed. He smashed his racket at one point and got a point penalty. And honestly, got to be gutted for Tiafoe. And it's sad that one of these guys had to lose, especially Francis, because he really needed that win. He still has not won back-to-back matches since the 2024 US Open, where he made the semifinals, and he now sits at 6-6 on the season. But got to congratulate Arthur. Incredible effort for him to kind of regain his composure after coming so close to the win, and now he's in back-to-back Sunshine Double 4th rounds, so good on him. Then we got to talk about, of course, the night match between Joao Fonseca and Alex de Minaur. The Demon came out on top of that one, 5-7, 7-5, 6-3. There's just been so much talk about Fonseca and how he is a big sensation, rightfully so, but I'm very impressed by de Minaur and how he was able to figure this one out. And his back was against the wall big time, especially at 4-all in that second set. I believe he faced a break point or 2 in this game, but he clawed his way out and stayed the course and was able to hang around there and take advantage of really being the steadier of the 2. He had the steadier game. But just as impressive as, the actual win was how de Minaur was able to handle the crowd, because the crowd was heavy on Fonseca and riding for him strong. That shows incredible mental fortitude. And we saw at the end there, Alex, he signed Rio Open with a smiley face. And the crowd didn't like that for some reason. They thought he was being mean, but Alex later clarified he meant no harm by it. And he's such a nice guy, honestly. He didn't even have to say that. He could have said F you to the crowd, but he still tried to clarify that he didn't have a problem with the fans. And he actually enjoyed the atmosphere, which was nice to see. And I really do think having Fonseca, of course, him being from Brazil, is going to be so huge in tennis. We saw this week, he's not even playing in Brazil, but like his opponents have been saying, it feels like it's the Rio Open with how they've been getting behind him in these matches. I don't like how they booed Alex at the end, and sometimes they were a little bit, too buoy, but overall, I just love the energy. It's much needed because Hard Rock Stadium has been dull otherwise without them. So I'm going to miss them really now that Fonseca is out of the tournament. Joao, he's really going to be such a huge tennis star for sure, amongst the biggest ever, to be honest, even if he doesn't end up winning double-digit slams. But the fact that he is from Brazil is huge because Brazilians ride for their own. And he's already at 1 million Instagram followers, which is the 13th most among active male players. And I feel like if he wins a 1,000 or a slam, he'll probably shoot up to 3 million or even 5 million. Don't even know. Anyways, that's all I have for this Miami Open update video. I know I didn't cover everything. I didn't talk about, Sabalenka and Zhang, among other things, for the sake of time, because literally matches are going on as I'm speaking. So I do want to get out some type of content before, the day fully ends. I just wanted to get out some type of content before things run a little bit too old and stale. Let me know your thoughts on Coco and Naomi's losses and whether you think that brighter days will be ahead for them for the clay swing. Also, do you think that Alex does have a legit chance at knocking out Iga? And do you think that Emma would upset Pegula? Again, make sure you subscribe and click the notification bell so you are notified whenever I post more Miami Open updates. Thank you all so much for watching and for your support, and I'll see you all next time here on Christian's Court.